Hello, so I just kind of wanted to jump on here quickly and talk about a show that has aired already this year in its completion and hasn't really been talked about enough, I think, and kind of ended up capturing my heart without me having any sort of expectations surrounding it. There's lots of great anime coming out this year. Already we have Yoko Nikki, JDK Season 3, Fate, Frieren, Cosmic Princess Kaguya movie out as well. And there's some other stuff coming out of theatres, and beyond that will hopefully be coming out this year as well. And All You Need Is Kill, Beastars, Morbang Dream, Sayonara Lara, World is Dancing, Kamina Botan, Four Seasons, which is Atelier, Ghost in the Shell, Link Click, Sekiro, Mononoke, Patlabor, New Kyoani, A New Dawn, Witch in Mongolia, Yanineko, maybe even hopefully more Maiden Abyss is apparently meant to be coming out this year, and new Kenji Iwasawa with Hina, and if it even exists, the Madoka Magica movie might be coming out this year. We've said that for the last few years now, so who knows. But what I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of great looking anime that hopefully will be coming out this year and we'll be getting into, but it's very possible I've felt like I've already watched the best of what can come for this year, and that is Love Through a Prism or Prism Rondo. This show kind of came out of nowhere for me. I was aware of it. I saw some of the promotions for it from Netflix. Knowing it was Wit Studio as well, I was somewhat interested. I was familiar with the setting, so I was also interested there. But I didn't really have any expectations beyond just, this looks cool, I might check it out. I see all the episodes, all 20 episodes drop at once on Netflix. I'm like, am I in the mood to watch an anime right now, kind of binge watch an anime? I was like, I'll just stick on a few episodes, I'll download a few episodes and see what it's like. And instantly I was drawn in. Instantly my heart was captured. And this was to my knowledge, there's a lot of interesting names and production behind this series before I get into the actual series itself. The script and the creator of this is Yoko Kamio, who I didn't know until after the fact is the creator of the best-selling shoujo manga of all time, Boys Over Flowers. So she kind of she knows what she's doing. Essentially, she has a familiarity with this genre, how to write these characters. Has years and years of experience, lots of other manga under her belt as well. So the show was already in good hands. We have a great soundtrack by Naoki Chiba. Hasn't really worked on too much aside from this, but my god, is the soundtrack so beautiful and immersive and magical and fits the setting and the vibes so perfectly. I think the other notable name in this production is the art director, the legendary Yusuke Takeda, who, if you're unfamiliar, has worked on Chainsaw Man, Umumusume, Vinland Saga, Great Pretender, Go From the Other Side, Ancient Magus Bride, Kimi no Todoke, Gankotsu, Evangelion, Patlabor, Gundam, you name it. This guy has been working on the art direction and backgrounds of these prestigious productions and anime. Certain ones from that list, like Vinland Saga, Great Pretender, Ancient Magus Bride, Evangelion, Gankotsuo, Gundam even, has really, really phenomenal art direction and backgrounds and colour work and that kind of stuff that is in the background of the show. It's not something that a lot of casual viewers might notice immediately, is art direction and stuff like that. And my god, is it a presence in this show as well. I'll get onto it a bit more. But the setting, I kind of want to go into the setting a bit as I kind of go into the voice cast, because the setting is based in London. It's early 20th century London, 1900s, just before World War One. My god, is that setting portrayed incredibly well by the team, by the staff, the backgrounds. I'm going to put, hopefully, I'll put a few images, some screenshots, And this isn't me sort of cherry picking either. The show consistently looks this good. Every episode you'll find at least probably 10 frames and shots of backgrounds and environments that just kind of blow you away. But as it's set in this London, familiar United Kingdom setting, I'm Welsh, so I'm from Wales, obviously just next to England. That immediately also is something that resonated with me. The setting, I was familiar with the environment. I obviously understand it's 100 years ago now, but still having an anime set in my I'm not going to say England's my country because Wales is most certainly my country. In my region is awesome. I'm absolutely thrilled to sort of be watching a show like that. But it made me want to watch the dub of this. But I looked at the cast. And after watching a few episodes in Japanese before looking at the cast, I was like, yeah, I kind of got to stick with the Japanese dub here, because I'm someone who, I'm not a dub hater, but I will always watch the show in its original language it was made in regardless. But this anime as a particular, a particularly studded cast with Atsumi Tanizaki, Koki Uchiyama, Yuki Kaji, Akari Kito, Sumire Uesaka, Junichi Sarobe, and Megami Han. There's other names as well in there, but those are sort of like the main characters. And they all put in incredible performances, such iconic voices. Atsumi Tanizaki, especially as the protagonist, I didn't even notice it was her, and she's one of my favourite voice actors. She's voiced Chisei from Angel Majora's Bride, and Mizore from Hibike, Frieren from Frieren. Three of my favourite characters. So I was really excited to see her on this as well. I didn't even notice it was her. I didn't even realise she was the main character in this. That's the sort of range that she sort of puts on. She has some particularly emphatic performances towards the end of this show. But regarding the show itself and the plot itself and the narrative and the characters, beyond the production, it's interesting because the plot beats and the characters, the sort of the general writing, it's rather straightforward. It's certainly not revolutionary or unique in that regard, but they're executed so well and so perfectly that it ends up not mattering. I'm certainly someone who absolutely will enjoy a show that doesn't have to be a unique show. If it does what it does well, that's perfectly fine with me. It's especially so if it does what it does well and has charming aspects and quirks outside of that, and this show certainly has that. You have these straightforward character drama, romance, stuff like that, but it's in this unique setting, a London art university, 20th century London, one that is also illustrated gorgeously, as you've probably seen by now that I've been putting on the screen. It also has really interesting visual ideas beyond just like cool backgrounds. It's the way the backgrounds look like art pieces in a world where our main protagonist, Lily, obviously moved from Japan to London to pursue art at the college. Feels like she's in like a dream world, in like an unreality, a place that she can't even fathom that she's living in that moment. So not just because of the sort of prestige of the setting she's in and just being in a country on the other side of the world, but falling in love with Kit, the other main character, our boy here, and making lots of great friends. I think the cast is super likeable and super fun. So these artistic backgrounds that very much look like art pieces purposely, rather than just... I think there's a lot of anime that comes out nowadays where backgrounds, they look phenomenal, they look great, but they don't really have much to say beyond just looking great. I appreciate when shows have a certain art direction that complements the narrative and complements the characters and tries to be something beyond just, oh look, this is really pretty. It's much more than that. The fact that these backgrounds and art direction and Prism Rondo look like art pieces in a show about art in a land where Lily feels like it's in like a dreamland, like a fantasy. It complements that vibe. It feels like that to the viewer as well. It completely immerses you into this other world, as if 20th century London is some gorgeous, beautiful setting. Obviously, it isn't. We've probably seen shows and movies of the set back then that it wasn't the most pleasant, but to Lily, to this person, it is beautiful. And of course, this stuff is not exactly trying to glorify this stuff. We're not a show that is interested in all the issues surrounding society during that time. We're just looking at Lily and her experience with art, experience with royalty, experience with family, and experience with love and friendship. And kind of going back to what I was mentioning, it is really interesting just how, I suppose, I don't like using this word because it comes off as very negative, but it's interesting how generic the show can be. A lot of the plot beats are predictable, but they're all done, like I said, they're all executed really well, but they're all done very in an understated way. The show rarely ever feels overdramatic or putting too much on or melodramatic. A lot of the time it feels very grounded and, like I said, understated and subtle in the drama and the character work. We don't have these moments where like characters have these revelations, or we focus solely on this character and they have this big moment with like a swell of music. That rarely happens. There sure are moments like that, and my god, are they done perfectly well. There's a particular scene in episode 20 that it's just one of the best sequences I've seen of this year so far, easily. But the general drama and the general sort of conflict, while, like I said, quite generic, is executed in such a way where it just comes across as very natural. Like this is the natural course of these characters and the natural path that they were set down on. So much so that they often don't end up feeling like characters, they just feel like people. And if you've seen my Koku Nikki reaction, I love when cast of characters are like that. I think I don't want to really compare it with Koku Nikki in that sense, because the Koku Nikki has this humanness and groundedness in a very different way than the show. But regardless, I think the character work here is great, despite it being not anything out of the ordinary. And that's I think all I want to say about the show. I don't want to spoil too much. Obviously, it's about this girl moved from Japan to London, pursue art, has all these amazing experiences with nobility and projects and art classes and trips and friendship and conflict and meeting all these different people from around the world, whether it's characters from London, Scotland, even India, Japan. The cast is super wide range in terms of diversity for an anime like this. And all the characters feel like they play a really great role, whether it's Kit's brother, Kit's parents who aren't in it an awful lot, or the art school teacher, Lily's parents. They all play the role they need to play to elevate the experience and come across as not just people, but likeable people who you root for. It's another great thing about this show is there aren't really any dislikable characters continuously. You learn to love everyone in this show. I think in particular a character like Catherine and the way her dynamic relationship ended up evolving with Lily was particularly really nice. And again, a very stereotypical sort of progression in the show, character-wise, but you just can't help but love it. And I think the best way for me to describe it is, for me, for the first time in a while, I was binging anime, beyond seasonal stuff. I was getting off work, tired as hell, cooking, showering, doing all the chores I needed to be doing, and then sitting down and binging like 5 or 6 episodes and just immersing myself in this world. And I think the best way I can describe it is, it gave me the feeling I had when I first got into anime 7 or so years ago now, where I could put on a show and just sit there and watch it for 5-6 episodes on end and not feel any fatigue, not feel tired or wanting to stop, thinking about it all the next day until you're able to watch it again, debating whether you keep watching and stay up really late and end up ruining your sleep schedule, or clocking into work or school the next day and feeling absolutely terrible. It's that kind of show that makes you make these questionable life choices while it permanently just residing in your head. And it was really amazing to feel like that about anime again, especially about a show like this that I wasn't expecting to feel this way about. I had no expectations at all with this show. And they're usually the shows that end up catching you off guard and all of a sudden just become one of your favourites ever. But I'll certainly be thinking about this show for a long time. It's certainly going to be one of the best of this year. Whether it's the best or not, we're going to wait and see. But I'll for sure be coming back and talking about this show at the end of the year when we talk about all the best shows that released this year. Please go and watch Love Through a Prism, Prism Rondo, 20 episodes, all on Netflix. I wouldn't recommend you watching them on Netflix, but it's absolutely worth it. And the show also has the creative liberty being on Netflix and not being restricted to these seasonal and TV slot releases to just extend episodes whenever they feel like it. Some episodes, the majority of the episodes are 24 minutes long, typical anime episode length. They'll occasionally just be a 30-minute, 40-minute episode because they can, for pacing, for resolving conflicts in one episode, for having it feel very natural, not ending on cliffhangers. And there's also this incredibly bold artistic choice towards the end of the series that is resolved perfectly. And I think towards the end of the series, when we get to the final sort of conflict and drama, so to say, I don't think it would have worked without this visual choice, this art direction, this directorial choice it takes in the last few episodes. And while it's a bit jarring at first, the way it's resolved and the way it intertwines with the visuals we've been seeing so far and the world Lily's been in so far and the world she's in then is perfect. It's the best way the show could have ended. But yeah, I'm not going to say any more. I haven't really spoiled anything here. I've just said it looks great and you've seen screen caps of it looking great. But yeah, please go and watch Prism Rondo, Love Through a Prism. I promise you won't regret it. At least go and check on the first 4 episodes, because the 4th episode is like the one that might capture you and might really take your heart in that sense. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching me ramble. I hope there's people out there who have also loved this show and I've enjoyed me rambling about it and have lots to say about it as well. Please let me know how you feel about it in the comments. If you do watch it because of this video, come back and tell me how you feel, whether you like it or not. I'm interested in how people feel about this show, because there's not too many people talking about it, unfortunately, and hasn't really had the promotion it needed. It being non-seasonal also means it hasn't sort of garnered the weekly hype that you get with seasonal shows. When shows that all drop at once like this, the Netflix sort of format doesn't cater well to modern audiences. But yeah, it's worth watching regardless. So yeah, that's my video, quick rambling about Prism Rondo, Love Through a Prism. Go check it out, and I'll see you guys for whatever we do next. And hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you end up watching or enjoy talking about this show because of this video. Thank you so much. Bye.